Now, you hired two people from fairly fresh out of college.
Yes.
And how do you feel, is that better or more challenging than hiring somebody with a little bit of SEO experience under their belt?
I think there's pros and cons, and it depends on what kind of manager you are. I'm a teaching manager. I like to mentor, so I don't mind that they don't know anything because it's very gratifying for me to be able to share my knowledge and everything I've learned and my experience with them, and then to take in their ideas and go, oh, well, that's a cool idea, and we can add that into the best practices and the philosophies. I think when you bring in an experienced SEO, it's a little more difficult because they do come sometimes with ideas that aren't going to mesh with your culture of your company or the culture of your team. And I think it's basically you have to make sure when you're interviewing, what are you looking for, and trying to look for those warning signs, etc., by asking questions that allow them to feel free to answer, to get the honest, like how they perceive, if they're looking for short wins and that's not your culture, then being able to weed that out in that process, as opposed to maybe you are looking for short-term wins and not long-term, and then making sure you also find that right person.
Yep. And then I also find, and this is something to help with that problem where you have differing opinions, if you're going to bring in the experienced SEO, sometimes it's a good idea to vet in the interview process for whether or not they're going to adopt the e-network approach to SEO,
yes.
Right? So you have your established approach.
Yes.
So if you're going to go bring in someone who is experienced at some point, you need to make sure that they're going to be flexible.
Absolutely.
And so I love that you're thinking about, are they short-term, long-term? Because those are very different mindsets
Absolutely.
and approaches to SEO. But also, are they going to be willing to change and modify?
Yes. And it is difficult in this climate. With the recession, there's a lot more applicants, and some people might be willing to say things that aren't quite true to who they are. But you can, if you vet them properly with the right questions, really getting at, who are they? What do they like to do? And you can kind of start gauging, just like you would for your audience, you're gauging that same segmentation when you're interviewing.